Once upon a time, there were two Russian brothers that made their World War II flight game Birds of Steel free to play. We know this game as War Thunder. Somehow, they took a World War II flying game that was playable on the Nintendo DS and added tanks and then later ships to it. That wasn't enough. 7 years later and a lot of $60 packs, we have reached top tier. The Cold War is going hot, so grab your F4, fire up your MiG-21 for some Top Gun action. Top tier is a different beast to handle from World War II air combat, so I am going to have to walk you through the basics because I know what I'm doing. This video is sponsored by Conflict of Nations, the free online strategy game where your objective is simple: just conquer the world. Fight up to 120 other players in real time in games that can take weeks to complete. Declare war on your neighbours or forge alliances with other players. Choose your own strategy, engage in epic battles, and take over the world. Dive into the extensive military research tree featuring over 250 individual items of research. Conflict of Nations is cross-platform, so you can use the same account on PC and mobile. You can get an exclusive gift if you click on the link in the description to get 13,000 gold and 1 month of premium subscription for free. This offer is only available for 30 days, so don't lose time. Click the link, pick a country, and get started in epic battles now. After making your daily sacrifice to your Anton shrine, you are ready to roll the dice on how your top tier game will go down. Maybe you'll get team killed. Rev up those warheads. What? What was that? Ah! Where did you come from? Friendly, okay. But he apologized for it, so that's fine. Or perhaps you will be the one team killing. Will you take off smoothly? Oh no, gear. I was checking my messages. I'm done. Get your kill stolen. Or somehow not even get a single silver line other than what you would get in a sad participation trophy. This could... what's this? It doesn't matter anyway. I did fuck all again. Woo! Victory is ours. I did nothing. Step 1 to understanding top tier is to know your plane and its loadout. There are many missile types, all of which have their unique characteristics with pros and cons. To simplify, there are two main missile types seen in air combat. You have IR, which are heat seekers, Fox 2, and radar guided, Fox 1. Heat seekers do what they say. The missile tracks a heat source. They find it really easy to lock onto the portable sun attached to a plane's ass when afterburning. Heat seekers will struggle to get a lock when going head on, unless they're all aspect IR, but just ignore this for now. The angle of attack also affects the quality of the lock, such as it's easier to get a lock onto a Harrier from below as the engines are below. Heat seekers are fire and forget. Once you get that lock on and fire, it's up to the missile to make its way to the enemy. Pray that a teammate doesn't fly in front of the missile, or that it gets distracted by the sun. Yes, missiles can lock onto and be baited by the sun. Heat seekers can be tricked by flares, which are a deployable heat source. Instead of targeting the plane, they'll be baited to the new heat source. It's sensible to turn off your afterburner when deploying flares to reduce your plane's heat signature. Radar guided missiles work by following your radar lock to the enemy aircraft. You have to maintain the radar lock on the enemy for the missile to work. This is fairly good for long range engagements, especially from head on. There are several big downsides, such as they are awful for dogfighting, as you have to keep your nose on the enemy to maintain the radar lock. Radar is also very unreliable at low altitudes, as the ground clutter starts confusing your radar. Radar locks can also be broken by chaff, again another deployable that messes with radar. Players can choose to equip flares, chaff, or even a mixture of both. Some other points that I want to cover are the afterburner. It is your nitrous. You burn fuel at an unholy rate that would make Greta have a heart attack and a cold roller blush. The result of burning a petrol station's worth of fuel is more speed. This is done by additional combustion to the jet's exhaust gases. In real life, this would be used sparingly. In War Thunder, 90% of the time you'll have it on. The devs tried to shake the meta of carrying low fuel and always afterburning by increasing the afterburners' fuel consumption. The player base reacted by taking more fuel and continuing to afterburn all the time. G's. When entering a turn at high speed, the plane has to face G forces. You see, the weakness of your plane is not the airframe, but the squishy, meaty sentient organism that flies it. This is your weak point. The human body can barely take 5 Gs without passing out, but somehow, through training, thick thighs and G-suits, pilots can take 8 to 9 Gs for a short period of time. I need to emphasize that while the pilot is barely clinging on to consciousness at 9 Gs, every part of their body weighs 9 times as much. Long story short, don't do a turn upside down at 1000 km per hour and expect to pull out of the dive. Otherwise you'll make the most impressive red and chrome pancake mixture you have ever seen. An important thing to manage is your speed. Note, as you are gaining Gs, you are losing valuable speed. Speed is life. You need all the speed you can to engage and evade. It is the difference between being the hunter or a sitting duck. Speed is a resource just like your fuel and ammunition. You can regain speed, but it takes valuable time, and in the time you need to regain your speed, you may be intercepted. Remember, speed is life and altitude is insurance. Radar. Okay, there are many types of radar with their own unique quirks, but to boil it down, radar is used for locating enemies and for locking on missiles. Some planes can even show a lead indicator of where to aim your guns when you have a lock. There is also missile slaving, where you can lock an IR missile to a plane using radar, so it doesn't accidentally go to the wrong target. For example, a friendly plane. The downside of using your radar is the enemy may have a radar warning receiver. The receiver gives a heads up if someone else's radar is detected and if someone has locked onto you. Okay, we're 8 kilometers high, probably the highest thing on the planet right now. No, we are not! We are not! Fuck. If you want to try and be cheeky, turn off your radar before intercepting an unsuspecting enemy, and the results are quite fun. Guns. We got this far and haven't really talked about guns, and that's because everybody's too excited using their air-to-air missiles. They still do have a purpose, but if you're struggling to lead targets before, oh boy are you in for a treat. If you think you're leading your target correctly, you are not. Add some more lead. In some ways it's easier to hit your targets using guns without having to zoom in like you did in low tier battles. Also, it just looks cooler for your kill montage. One last thing, I do advise you not to jump straight to top tier with a $60 premium pack if you're around mid tier in War Thunder. You are going to go up against people that have spent more time with their favourite supersonic aircraft than they have with a real girlfriend. You will be unapologetically seal clubbed if you jump into whatever brand new top tier jet Gaijin is slinging on their store. Oh, by the way, there's a link in the description below if you wanted to buy the new MiG-21 pack. Buying with my link also gets you a discount and you get my unique War Thunder decal too. Now that you have used Mum's credit card to buy a $60 top tier jet, let's discover the top tier experience. Once again, thank you to Conflict of Nations for sponsoring this video. Use the link in the description to get 13,000 gold and 1 month of premium subscription for free. Offer only available for 30 days, so don't lose time.